Hello, YouTube universe. Well, actually, good morning, because it is currently 8 o'clock in the morning. So, pretty sure you're like, why the blankety blank are you up 4 o'clock in the morning? Answer is, I always wake up this early, and I'm making a video now, because I want to elaborate on what I said yesterday, because I didn't get to say a lot of things I wanted to say. I didn't realize that until after I left the coffee with the teacher thing. Also, because I'm the first one up in my house, I don't want to feed the cat, and I don't want to do my math homework. So I'm making a video now to avoid my responsibilities. And if you're asking why the video quality is bad, I got my dad's phone. Anything you do in selfie mode just looks completely blurry and fuzzy. I don't know why. I just thought he was terrible at taking selfies, but no, it's just the phone being stupid. So, on with the video. So for what I was talking about yesterday, a lot of these things are pretty similar in real life. What 1984, what George Orwell said. I mean, he has his own adjective, Orwellian, anything that's there. I mean, they have telescreens in every single house. It's a requirement. Here we have TVs in every single house. Both of them are wired to watch us and listen to us, so the government can watch us at all times. I mean, if that's not creepy, I don't know what is. We have Crime Stop. And Crime Stop, it's this part of the brain that they can go and just forget about these things. That they can make like a mental block. You know, like trying like, if you think something, you can just like, oh, block that out, you know? You can just forget about it. We have that. And people don't know they do it, but we do that. We will like forget about things you don't want to hear about. Like bad news. Just forget about that. We have wars that we aren't entirely sure are going on. I mean, here you see all these bombings, you know, states getting attacked. I'm pretty sure they're saying that we get attacked, but has anybody actually gotten attacked yet? I mean, we're supposed to be at war in North Korea now, and nothing's actually happened. So, maybe it's a Cold War, which is actually another Orwellian term. A Cold War being any war that does not involve actual weapons, that involves actual, like, intelligence. And when I said you should have 2 + 2 = 5, that actually was a term that they used in the Cold War. They actually used that to make sure that all of their soldiers would believe what they were fighting for. 2 + 2 = 5 means you have the will to believe that anything that they told you is true. And Room 101 is basically, because he said Room 101 yesterday, Ministry of Love, it's like a torture device if you behave badly. It's sort of like jail, but not really. They didn't kill their people. Well, they killed people, but they would try to reform them before they killed them. You know, try to make them love Big Brother, which, by the way, isn't an actual person. It's just a personification of the government. But they had this saying. It was slavery is freedom. No, it was freedom is slavery. War is peace. And there was something else. I can't remember what it was. There were 3 things, and that was it. Oh yeah, God is power. Because no one believed in God. They just believed in the power of belief. Because if you believe anything, you can never be wrong. There's no way to disprove that belief that you have. So as long as you believe it, there's nothing stopping you. That was the whole thing. Everyone would try to stop it, but ultimately they believed so highly in themselves, nothing actually worked. Which is what we do. We believe in everything we do is right. Us in America believe everything we do is right. You know, we're the promised land, but nothing actually is promised. Everything is so unobtainable now. It's like Oceania, which, by the way, Oceania was ruled by America. We took over England, the North America, South America. It became Oceania. So, and yes, that everything they have is synthetic. Because everything here we have is synthetic. All the food, you know, is as processed food, processed packaged food. There they have processed gin, processed chocolate, processed coffee, saccharin, which is supposed to be their sugar, but that's actually real. They have like processed meat that they get served every single day. They actually never say anything about drinking water. Like, we always assume it's there, but they never actually say anything. They always say they drink gin or coffee. That's called Victory Gin and Victory Coffee. But I think George Orwell is trying to teach us something. Trying to say, hey, this is what you're turning into. Don't do it. And we all just sort of took him for granted, you know. They teach The Giver in my school. And the message really isn't, don't try to be like this, or be aware of becoming this. The message is sort of, this is bad, we're not this, be glad we're not that. You know, they don't really say, hey, this is what we could come, don't try to be like this. They always say, that is bad, we are good in comparison, therefore we are not that. Whereas in 1984, it's like, this is what the world was becoming, and then you think about it now, this is what it has become. I didn't think about that until actually my math teacher and my history teacher said, how does this compare? How's what you learn compare to the real world? Not even my English teacher said that, because they don't teach that in English. They don't teach really important things in English now. That's what, another thing I liked about 1984 is here we have the whole debate whether we should continue teaching cursive writing, whereas nobody wrote in 1984. They all used speak writes. You spoke into a microphone to type out for you. That's why he had this diary, and it was so important because it was old. And he actually had to try and write his stuff down. He thought it was so permanent because he actually wrote it down himself. And, oh yeah, yesterday I said they rewrote history. They can rewrite history. Like our Common Core, every time there's a new curriculum, something has changed in what they learn. You know, about most people who are watching this don't know about 1 Mile Island. That was the nuclear explosion in Pennsylvania. And nobody here on my part of the world knows about that. Yet if you ask anybody on the East Coast, everybody knows about that. So everything changes everywhere because it's more acceptable for what people need to know than what people should know. That's why they have the Vatican archives where every single historical record is stored from every single country. But no one's allowed in there. No public person's allowed in there. And so there's places that nobody can go. So it's like they have actual records, but we just can't go see them. And if you think about it, we also have like a Goldstein figure. Goldstein was this person, and he was supposed to be like, every day they had 2 minutes of hate. They had to shout and scream at this person, but nobody actually knew who he was, or what he did, or why they were screaming at him. They just knew he was bad, he did something bad, so we're supposed to hate him, because they were taught to hate him because they were told to hate him. And if you think about that, stuff like racism, I mean, we don't actually know why we hate them. Why we hated the Muslims, why we hate the African Americans, or, you know, Chinese, Japanese. We're just saying our ancestors hated them for whatever reason, and so now they tell us to hate them. So we always believe they're bad or that we're superior to them, but we don't actually know why. We're just always been taught, okay, hey, you know, see this person? Because they look different, you're superior to them. We don't actually know why, though. Probably, even though they probably know a lot more, experience a lot more, are wiser than a lot of us. But we've always been told to hate them. That's why we have racism. Because it's not we hate them because it's they look different, we hate them. They're different, we hate them. You know, anything that is different from the party or Big Brother, they hated it. They had like a week of hate. They'd hate the country they were fighting. But as soon as it changed, they didn't change countries. It was, okay, Eurasia is against Oceania. Eurasia has always been against Oceania. Even if it suddenly changes to fighting East Asia, we've always been fighting East Asia. That's just it, because their symbol was war is peace. And they thought the only way to control people was if it was always in a state of fear, always at war with this country. So they dropped bombs on their civilization to make people think that there was this country that was attacking them. And there was this other people who were trying to get at them, even though all 3 countries were exactly the same as Oceania. They just never thought about it. The only people who knew that were the war prisoners from each side that were brought every day and executed. And I just think it's kind of sad that we are a 43-year-old's nightmare. This civilization, and I will change that if I can. But if I can't, I won't be like Winston. I won't accept it. I'll go down fighting. Because they had their chance. They were rebelling and they just gave up in the end. So please help me changing the world. I know you probably are going to disregard everything. Because everybody else I know who's read this book, except for my mom and my dad, have just disregarded it as another, like, give your life book. You know, this is a fictional world. This is what, this is what could happen. This is what isn't gonna happen. This is fiction. This is that. This is us. We are better than that. But we actually aren't. There are too many similarities. It's too scary for us to not be like that. And it's sad because in there they have thought police. Anything, if you think wrong, they will arrest you. Like I said, people trying to enter the country, it's not because they actually have done wrong that we don't let them in, it's because they might do something wrong. Thought police. If they think about doing something wrong, oh my gosh, they're arrested. They will do something wrong. If they think about it, they will do it. Because you don't let them in because they might do something. And you're probably wondering why all my videos just sound completely horrible. It's because I don't rehearse everything. I'm always one take and then I post it because, well, except for my first one. And the Twilight one, that's just not because I rehearsed it, it's because it took me 3 tries to actually do it. Because I couldn't upload it because my old phone was being stupid, and then my brother's iPad was being stupid, and my brother was being stupid. I have a lot of stupid people in my life. So, that's all pretty much it is. I learned that conventional knowledge, everything, like who's considered smart in school, really isn't. It's just blissful ignorance. But one of my teachers, well, not my teacher, but a teacher, said, I know the facts, I know the knowledge. How are those two things different? And I said, because if you know the facts, you're conventionally smart. You know everything in school, you're not at the top of your classes. But if you know the knowledge, you know and go beyond that. You know the real world. You know what society is. You know what's happening in your life. The biggest thing is 2 + 2 = 4. And hopefully it always will equal 4. And I think that's all that has to be said without completely blowing your minds and getting like super deep into the book. But y'all should read that book and think about it. Don't just say, hey, this is a fiction book, This is just a good book. It's supposed to be a dystopian future that didn't exist. It does exist. Always think about it. The one question they never ask in school: how does this relate to your life? How does it relate to the world now? I don't know why they don't ask that. They just don't. But if it takes a math teacher, a history teacher to tell you that, think about it, because they're telling it for a reason. They obviously know something more than your English teacher. Because if the English teacher can't think to ask that question, there's no hope for humanity. So, sorry for this is supposed to be a comedy channel. I don't actually know what happened with that because I made one comedy video that actually wasn't that funny now to think about it. So, I guess that's the comedy of it. My comedy channel doesn't actually have a lot of comedy videos. So, I just failed at life. But please comment below and ask questions about this because I can't elaborate more. I think this is all you guys can actually mentally handle at the moment without completely blowing your minds. So, oh yeah, and a comment below about what you want my videos to be. I mean, I already have an idea. But I have a suggestion, not an idea. Well, I have an idea about this suggestion. But I want to keep going on that theme. I also don't want to think of videos myself. So long and thanks for all the fish. Big Brother is watching.